Welcome to Ghouls Night Out. I am your host, Gory B Movie, and with me today I have two very lovely ladies. Would you like to introduce yourselves? Hit it.
Hi, I'm Ciara Hall from the channel Ciara Hall.
Do you find that awkward? Because I was on Horror Addicts for about 4 years, and I still am on Horror Addicts, but it used to be easy to be like, I'm Gory B Movie from Horror Addicts. Now, I also have my own channel called Gory B Movie, and I feel kind of weird saying Gory B Movie from Gory B Movie.
Yeah, I feel that, definitely.
It's a little awkward, but, you know, we'll figure out a way, like, from the self-titled channel. That sounds fancy. All right, Cujo, hit me.
Hello, everybody. I'm Queen Cujo, and this is my buddy Dexter.
I like Dexter. Okay, and let's see who we have in the chat today. It's summer. It's summer vacation. I'm sure everyone's off doing other things, but my go-to ghouls, Ben Grimm, Maddie McCabe, Horror Mom 1987, and Need Gore are here, and Farley's Nerd Cave. Hey guys, welcome. So today we have a very special show for you. We're going to talk about one of my horror heroes. We're going to talk about Barbara Crampton. Hey, Brian String. I'm going to butcher that. Hey, Brian. We're going to talk about Barbara Crampton. Barbara Crampton is a massive supporter of horror. She's a massive creator of horror. She's been an actress since the 80s. She's in a lot of our favorite movies. We picked her tonight because she's in Queen Cujo's favorite movie, Re-Animator. Yep. And she's also in a couple other Lovecraftian movies, which also both star Jeffrey Combs. Coincidence? I don't know. She's also in Castle Freak and From Beyond. So those are the movies we're going to be focusing on here tonight. Hey, Movie Massacre. So, yeah, we're going to mostly be focusing on that. I think these movies are going to be a lot of fun to talk about because the reason I picked these ones is because they are all Lovecraft. They're all Stuart Gordon. They all have Jeffrey Combs, but her characters are completely different in these movies. And I think it's really interesting. So, and before we get started, though, because I have new ghouls here tonight. These are brand new ghouls. I do know Queen Cujo. We go back a bit because we watch a lot of the same streams, and she's been in the chat here, and we've commented back and forth, but we've never really got a chance to chat, like on a video call. So it's nice to actually have a conversation with her. And Ciara Hall, I just found her. I was looking at Re-Animator reviews trying to find another guest, and I found her channel, and it's awesome, guys. It's really cool. She just did all the Chucky movies. She's really funny. Tell us a little bit more about your channel, Ciara.
I kind of do like a little bit of a horror hostess, kind of Elvira-ish type thing. Talk about especially cheesy horror movies and horror sequels in particular.
That's awesome. That's like what I do on the Gory B Movie channel, where we talk about Gory B movies all the time.
Yeah. Love them.
But yeah, she also, like, you know, she's like in her bedroom and she's usually scantily clad. So like there's that going on, guys.
Yep.
You know, you get it's like, okay, it's like Elvira, because Elvira's got the three things. You know, she's sexy, she's smart, and she's funny. So you're going to get those three things on Ciara's channel.
That's the goal.
That's what's going on. Cujo, tell us about your channel.
Oh my god. It's a mess, but it's an organized mess. Everything, like, I don't know. I think the last video that we did was Texas Frightmare Weekend. I'm trying to do more stuff that's kind of related to the horror community. So that's what I've been up to right at the moment, so.
Explain that a little bit more. Like, what's your goal? Like, horror community, that's interesting.
I try to at least, like, review new movies. Try to, like, just relate on all those other things, so.
So, like, what's up and coming, if it's a convention, if it's a movie. Guess what? So, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Queen Cujo and Ciara Hall are going to be new super duper best friends because they have the same poster in their rooms. What the actual fuck? I feel left out. I have a lot of pictures in here, but I don't have that one. I do have a couple leather faces, but not that particular one. Anyway, welcome. Say hi to each other.
Hi.
Hello.
You guys are best friends now. Oh my god.
We are.
Actually, a lot of best friends have been made on this show, so it's entirely possible. Also, hi to Queenie, who's gonna leave me in a bit because that's what she does. Because she's super popular. She's got things to do. Michael Long, Dice Rollin. We have a lot of awesome people here tonight. My boy Maddie's here. So, also because you're new, I think we should just chat a little bit. I think we should chat a bit and get to know you. Because, you know, I'm just meeting you guys, and you're just meeting each other. I think, do you guys know each other?
No, we haven't spoken before now.
See, let's get to know each other. So, favorite horror movie, go.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, and why?
Wait, go ahead.
I just love Freddy Krueger, love Robert Englund, is one of my all-time favorite actors, so one of the movies that I grew up with.
Have you seen Robert Englund and his really early stuff where he's super young? Like, he has a small part in Eaten Alive and a small part in Last House on the Left.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
He's kind of sexy.
Kind of, yeah.
Definitely.
Cujo, yours is Re-Animator, right?
Yes. I like the concept of the movie, and my husband and I love, like, H.P. Lovecraft. We love, like, every kind of aspect on it, whether it be a children's book to pretty much, you know, anything that's kind of based on it. And so fell in love with Re-Animator.
Mine, I really should say something that's like, I guess as far as like the big classics that everyone loves that I like would probably be Fright Night.
Nice.
I also love Scream, but my favorite movie, I gotta say, is The Craft, and it's so bad because I watched this movie so much when it first came out, and I had it on VHS. I watched it so much, my brothers called it The Crap because they got sick of it. So I love it. I know it's a 90s movie. I know we don't all love 90s horror, but I just love that movie. It's just
I love
The Crap. Watch. It's so much fun.
The book is amazing.
Yes, she is. She's awesome. And also, I noticed on your profile, Ciara, because I stalked you a bit. I noticed that you are also a witch, so tell us about that.
Yeah, I dabble a little bit in the whole Wiccan thing, and been having fun with casting spells, dabbling in all of that.
So, do you have a, like, particular area? Like, because, there's the Satanists, there's the Wiccans like me, there's the Asatrues, there's, like, a whole bunch of different flavors.
Yeah, I refer to myself as eclectic witch.
I like it. That's what I love about paganism in general is you don't have to conform to any specific set of rules or anything. I mean, no two witches are the same. We all have our different beliefs. And what's wonderful is we're all okay with that.
Exactly.
We do not need to be exactly the same. I've got friends who are all different kinds of pagans. I've got friends who are also Wiccans and are completely different than me. And we have a very live and let live mentality.
Exactly. And I love that.
Yes.
I love how open it is and how you can kind of take your own, like, what you believe and all of that to it.
Yeah. It's great. In fact, in a lot of pagan paths, you typically study, like in Wicca, you typically study for a year and a day before you can even have a dedication ceremony and like really call yourself a witch. Unlike, we won't name the religion, but the people who come to my door at least once a month. Like, take a look around. We have a faith. We worship at the altar of horror. We're good. We're good. I also saw my sister from another Mr. Laura from Freaky Girls Live, which, by the way, I'm a newly minted Freaky Girl Live. I'm the newest one. It's pretty exciting. Freaky Girls Live will be next week on the Freaky Girls Live channel, and Laura is awesome. We had a great Horror Zone's here. Brandon Meacham's here. We got some great people. Are you also a witch, Cujo?
Oh no.
And that's okay.
I'm a weirdo though. I'm more of like the Buddhist kind of aspect of things.
I dig it.
That's awesome.
We sound like a weird kind of type of weird joke, like a witch, a Buddhist, and I don't know what you technically are, Gory. So.
Oh, well, I'm Wiccan, but I have 2 dogs and a cat, and one of my dogs is, I don't try to convert them. I accept them for who they are. They were 1.5. One was 1.5 when I got them. The other was 3. One's Muslim. One's Jewish. I don't ask questions. They don't try to kill each other. Everybody's happy. My cat, like all cats, is a Satanist. because all cats
Yeah.
are Satanists, and that's okay.
That's true.
My
That's
husband
true,
is, he kind of dabbles in everything, which is also okay. And my son, I'm pretty sure my son's an atheist, and that is also okay.
Yeah, it's all good.
All good.
I want to talk also about toys, because I see you've got an Ashy Slashy there, Cujo.
Oh yes, that was a present from the husband.
I got my husband that present for
What?
his birthday last year. He got the same Ashy Slashy. Because I rule at wifing.
It's not the one with the teeth. It's the one.
No,
with,
I
like,
got the
Okay.
original Ashy Slashy. Because there's also a vampire one, or Deadite one. And you've got some cool movies there, so you collect VHS.
Yes, I have way too much crap in here right now.
And you have bones.
Yeah.
Did you know my buddy, Queenie Todd? She has a store called Marrow Minded Gifts where she makes a lot of sculptures and art with bones.
Or bones.
You should check it out.
Oh,
I've got
I never knew
hiccups.
that.
Sierra, you also have a lot of collectibles.
Yeah, I have a few. Got my dolls here.
I have the same
Well,
Freddy
pretty much.
Krueger.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
Wouldn't it be great if you all lived nearby and we could all get together for a play date? Because my son and I, we play with the Funkos. That's why they're out of the box. Where are you guys located in the world?
I'm from Canada.
I kind of thought you sounded Canadian. Whereabouts in Canada?
Close to Toronto.
Awesome. Which one's that in? Toronto,
Ontario. So
Ontario.
like really close to New York.
Nice.
Way up there.
And Cujo, you're in Texas, right?
Yes, I am in San Antonio, Texas, and it is really hot here right now.
How hot?
Let's see. The heat index. The heat index was in the 90s, I think, today. Yeah, it was in the 90s today. It feels like 100. It is gross. Oh man, and it is not fun. But hopefully, after the summer, it'll cool down. Waiting for that.
Yeah, it's about that here. I think a lot of you know, but maybe you two don't know. I live in Wenatchee, Washington. It's in the center of the state, which is completely different than the part of Washington you're familiar with, which is Seattle, and it rains all the time there. Here, it's just really freaking hot. It's like a little bowl of mountains. And
But you don't get rain? You don't get like crazy rain?
No, not here. That's the other side of the mountain. There's the Cascades in between me and Seattle. So it's a lot drier here, and there are mountains. Copious mountains. So
Mountains are nice.
I'm like mountain folk. Like pretty much all those movies you see, like Wrong Turn and stuff, that's probably like my life.
Yeah, I grew up in British Columbia, so there were a lot of mountains out there.
British Columbia, we go there quite a bit because my husband wrestles in Canada, in British Columbia. So
Oh yeah?
I am familiar with British Columbia.
It's really pretty out there.
It is
You get
nice.
to experience snow, right?
There's no snow in Vancouver. That's like the one part where there's no snow in Canada.
Yeah, we get like 10 feet of snow here in the winter. It sucks. Hey, Movie Massacre's nearby in Kelso. That's awesome. Sweet. Lots of things happening. All right. Do you guys have any questions before we kind of get started? You can ask
I
each
think
other
of
questions. You can ask me a question. You can just jump in at any time.
I don't think I have anything yet
Can't think of
anyway.
anything at the moment. No.
Oh, and in other news, I don't know if I can show you guys because I'm not all that flexible, but I did get a new tattoo with my
Where?
buddy the other day.
Woo!
What?
I don't know if you can tell, but it's a bat on my leg.
The bat?
We
Oh.
got matching ones, but I can't flip it right side up because that would require being upside down. Okay, we are on track.
Nice.
So, nice. Reminds me of the Resident Evil 4 guy, what are you selling? What are you buying? You guys know. Okay, so Barbara Crampton. So I have met Barbara Crampton, so I guess that's how I'm going to open that. There is a picture on the wall here. I'm kind of pointing at it. It's there-ish. She is very nice, very nice person. Barbara
She's
Crampton,
tiny.
she is. Not only is she a great actress, but I think right now, because I talked to her a lot about, how she acted in the 80s and she kind of took a break and then she came back and she's doing a lot right now. And it used to kind of be that for the longest time, for actresses of any genre, there wasn't a whole lot of work after 40. You might get a role playing someone's mom or grandma, but that was it. And the roles weren't that interesting, and they were few and far between. And that's really changing a lot, especially in the horror genre right now. And we have a lot of women who are well over 40 who are doing very well in the genre. Women like Lynn Shay, Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously, and of course Barbara Crampton. And she's been doing a lot of movies. We Are Still Here. She was in You're Next. She was in Sunchoke. She's in Behind the Gate. She's in so many. She does at least 2 movies a year now. I think she's probably doing more movies now than she has ever in her career. So that's really exciting. What's the most recent Barbara Crampton movie you guys have seen?
Oh God, I have to remember. I saw her in You're Next.
Yeah, You're Next.
Yeah,
Probably
She's really
the one.
good in that.
Yeah, she was awesome.
And one of the awesome things about meeting her, I did actually get to meet her. I met her just as she was leaving, and she was very sweet and signed a picture for me and took a photo with us. But we celebrate my birthday at Crypticon every year because they're kind of around the same time. And so my husband took me out to dinner, and we go to the dinner in the hotel where the convention is. And when we get there, there's nobody there. And after we sit down, like across from us, Felissa Rose and Justin Tierston from Sleepaway Camp. I'm like, oh,
awesome.
that's exciting. They're right at the table next to us. On the other side of us is like 2 of the guys, like Sid Haig and another guy from 31 and House of a Thousand Corpses. And we're like, oh, that's really cool. We're in between a lot of neat people. Then, like it's like the seat kind of connects to the next table. Barbara Crampton sits down, and I'm just completely speechless because she's like my hero. Completely speechless. She sits down with Kelly Maroney, who she was in Chopping Mall with, and they're chatting, and she's like, should we call Jeff? And Danny and I look at each other like, no fucking way.
You're gonna die.
She just calls him Jeff? She just calls him Jeff? That's the coolest thing ever. Obviously, she's talking about Jeffrey Combs. He shows up, and I'm just sitting there like, I cannot say a damn thing. And I would
die.
Yeah.
I would hyperventilate.
I would die. Oh my God.
They'd have to carry me out on a stretcher.
Yes, get the defibrillator or whatever the hell it's called. Just like, clear, boom.
We're trying to like not obviously listen to their conversation, but totally listening to their conversation.
Were you like, you're just eavesdropping like?
Well, I could have touched her if I wanted to. I mean, if I was a weirdo. I mean, they were that close, so it was so weird, but really cool. That's right. I've seen in the chat a lot of you liked The Littlest Reich, which I wasn't a big fan of The Littlest Reich, the newest Puppet Master movie, but she was fantastic in it. She was the best part of the movie by far. I think for me, the biggest problem with The Littlest Reich is I like my Puppet Master movies. I like it when the puppets are the good guys. When the puppets are like basically working for the Nazis and killing people like hate crime style. I don't know. It's not as much fun.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I heard a lot of weird reviews about it, and I'm like, I don't know about it. I'm iffy about it.
And the kills were cool, but like they'd be more cool if they were kills of Nazis, because like nobody's like ever sad when a Nazi dies.
Yeah.
But these were like people who you're watching and you're like, oh, that person wasn't terrible. That's why people in horror movies are so annoying. So you're not bummed out when they die, unless you're supposed to be bummed out. But that's another story altogether. But yeah, there are a lot of people who like it. I think people are kind of divided on that one.
On the fence, yeah.
Puppet Master. But I know Barbara Crampton was really proud of that one. She was less proud of Death House, which I agree, that one was a mess. I wasn't a huge fan of Death House.
It was like, meh,
for sure.
meh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where should we start? We got Re-Animator, we got Castle Freak, and we have From Beyond. Or we can just kind of talk about all of them.
Unless you just want to go like with just like starting either the obscure one or the one that's been like the oldest and newest. I don't know.
Maybe let's start with the more obscure one to begin.
Yeah.
Would you guys say Castle Freak is the more obscure one?
I feel like it is.
Yeah,
Okay,
probably.
that's one I would pick because I would say anything full moon tends to be a obscure one. I know it, I own it, but full moon movies I feel they're niche even among horror fans. Like
Yeah.
you can be a huge horror fan and not be into full moon. Obviously we watch a lot of full moon on Horror Addicts. Up until this year, Danny was doing a monthly full moon review, but this is one of the better full moon movies, and the way it started is Charles Band, who runs Full Moon Entertainment, had a poster, I believe, he had a poster, and it said Castle Freak on it, but that's really all it was. And Stuart Gordon came in, and he's like, oh, what's that about? And he's like, yeah, we don't know. If you want to make it, you decide. And it was kind of like Friday the 13th in that way, where they had the title, but they really had no idea when they started what it was going to be about. And so Stuart Gordon took the title and decided what the whole story was going to be. And would one of you like to give us a brief kind of plot summary?
The plot summary to Castle Freak?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. It starts off with an old lady just basically trying to take whatever kind of type of food, I guess it's like gruel and water, up to basically up to, I guess, like she's climbing a hill because she looks like a 90-year-old woman to me, and this cat is following her. Only I guess she has like either a heart attack or a stroke or something, and dies while trying to give or administrate food to this like enigma that's
a castle
there.
freak.
Yes, the castle freak. And so it flashes forward. You have Jeffrey Combs, I guess, in a taxi or driving. No, I think it's in a taxi. And you have Barbara Crampton with her daughter. Daughter is, of course, got the sunglasses on. She's blind. Rolling down the window, like, way too fast, I guess. And her mom's like, no, honey, don't do that. Like, freaking out, pulling it back up again. And kind of starting from there. I think that's, that kind of goes into show more of the detail of the start of that film. I'm trying to remember what comes after that, because I guess they explore the castle together, right? Trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, so essentially Jeffrey Combs has inherited this massive castle. And it really is a castle. They filmed there on location. I believe it was in Romania. This is back in the 90s when Full Moon did a lot of stuff on location. In like other movies like Subspecies and stuff, they had just gorgeous locations. And this is one of them. And Barbara Crampton, when I met her, she said her favorite part was getting to visit this place and see this just amazing castle where they got to film.
It's a gorgeous castle.
It was a nice castle.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gorgeous. So he inherits this, but he doesn't know anything about the relative who passed away. He doesn't know anything about this castle. It's all kind of new to him. He is hoping that his family can get sort of a fresh start because he was drunk and he had a car accident that resulted in the death of his son.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife is still struggling with that. Like she's trying to make it work, but obviously she's grieving. And
oh, yeah.
To a degree, she blames her husband. The car accident also blinded their daughter. So he's also to blame for that. Though the daughter doesn't blame him at all. And she seems to be getting along okay. She's got a cane. She's figuring things out. So they go in there, and this person is kind of watching them. He takes an interest in their daughter. And from there, things escalate pretty quickly. But in this one, since we're focusing on Barbara Crampton, Ciara, how would you describe her character in this?
In this character, or in this movie, she's very much, she's mostly there to be Jeffrey Combs' wife, I would say. She's very much the one that blames him for his previous actions. She's very mad at him, and he's trying to win her back. And she, by the end of the movie, needs to learn how to forgive him, basically.
Which she does, unfortunately, like right before he dies. Yeah, there's going to be spoilers in this, by the way. Spoiler warning.
It's hard.
Sorry.
She does right before he dies, but I feel like she's also kind of the moral compass of this movie, because Jeffrey Combs, even though he's trying to win his wife back, he's trying to get in her good favor, he also seems like somebody who feels like they're kind of damned. At one point, like, he even gets a prostitute. Like, he's just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He just doesn't seem to know how to get to redeem himself, because he blames himself a lot, too.
And he keeps slipping back into that alcoholism, too.
Yes, which is what caused the accident. Whereas she's kind of got the moral high ground here, obviously, because she, isn't the alcoholic. She's caring for their daughter. So... I think she's kind of there to kind of create this, like, juxtaposition, like, like a contrast between the two characters.
Yeah.
But she's very much, it's so weird because she, even though, she's older now, she doesn't play moms that much. I mean, she was a mom in You're Next. She was a mom when You're Still Here, but very rarely does she play mothers. I guess nowadays she's playing them more, but especially back in the day, we saw her in movies like Chopping Mall. We saw her in movies like, obviously, Re-Animator. She was, the cute young girl. So this, especially at the time, it was very new to see her in a maternal role. Oh, hey, Horror Miser Monty G. Everyone say hi to Monty. He's awesome.
Hi.
Hi.
Monty, meet Sierra. I think you know Cujo, but yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Monty's great, guys. So this was a big turn, and a big part of the reason she did this, because it's also, I think it's strange to see such a, maybe by mainstream standards they're not A-list, but I would say Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton are A-list horror. Like,
oh, yeah.
There are A-list. And I think it's strange to maybe see that kind of talent in a full moon movie, because full moon movies tend to be, I mean, if there's B movies, I think full moon movies are probably C movies, sometimes D movies. They're very low budget, very cheesy. They're usually a lot of fun, though. I mean, you kind of got to judge full moon movies by full moon movies, or even trauma movies. You can't compare a full moon movie to Hereditary, or you will be disappointed.
No.
Oh, man.
But there are a few that stand out, and this is one of them, because Stuart Gordon is also somebody who is a lot more talented than some of the people who make a lot of full movies. It sounds like I'm dogging on Full Moon. I actually really like Full Moon.
I like Full Moon, too. But hey, do you know that castle? He owns that castle.
Charles Band?
Yes, Brian from the Outsiders had mentioned that before, and then it kind of, not kicked in, of course, because I wasn't thinking. But yeah, he owns a castle, so that Full Moon money is where it come from.
I want to own a castle.
Yeah, Charles Band has a lot of money, and here he is spending it on horror, which I completely respect. I also want to say goodnight to my friend Maddie McCobb, who's awesome.
Good night.
He's also June Cleaver, awesome drag performer. So I'm also a drag performer. What the hell word is that? Performer. Sunny Boner, but you're never gonna see it on camera, so this. Oh.
I'd love to get into drag.
I want to do that too.
I feel like you'd be good at it. It's fun.
It looks like fun.
I think I'd look fun.
I've seen a lot of your Instagram stuff. You like to do the makeup and the costumes, and it's very theatrical.
Yes. Yeah, I love the whole costumes then.
Absolutely. So, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Here, back to Castle Freak.
What are you guys drinking? Quick segue.
Rosé, the dry cider.
Ooh.
It's pretty good.
Coffee and chocolate milk.
Ooh, that sounds good. I have Danny recommended orange Bud Light. So that's what we're drinking tonight.
Orange Bud Light.
Yes. It's pretty good, though. So Castle Freak. We were talking about the castle, the Charles Band. So yeah, it was very unique to have Stuart Gordon, though he has been involved in some other projects. I would say Castle Freak is one of the, I don't want to say better as in most entertaining, but better as in
their higher quality.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, when I say you compare full moon movies to full moon movies, you've got movies like Ginger Dead Man. You have movies like the Puppet Master movies. These are very kind of schlocky movies, and they are really good for what they do. A lot of companies try to do those movies now, like Asylum and stuff, and Full Moon does that style of movie better than anybody, but very rarely they do produce a more serious tone movie, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Some of the more serious tone ones they've done are Castle Freak and like Tourist Trap. There are a few. Subspecies are pretty serious. Even though subspecies, they got the demons. So it's still schlocky.
It's got a weird point.
And, you know, as my namesake says, I love me a good cheesy movie. So
hell yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But these are very different than your standard full moon movie. And what obviously brought Barbara Crampton to this is she loves working with Stuart Gordon. Stuart Gordon and her get on like a house on fire. And she loves working with Jeffrey Combs. And that's why they've worked together so many times. So when she found out that she had an opportunity to, for a third time, join Jeffrey Combs and Stuart Gordon, she was like, yeah, sign me up. Let's do it. Anytime, any place, I'm there.
Yeah.
And I love the chemistry between her and Jeffrey Combs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they work well together.
Intense chemistry. And I think even in Re-Animator, even though she's not paired with him in that one, this is actually the first one where they're actually a couple, which is odd. But you can tell that there's a really cool kind of thing going on between her and him in Re-Animator. And From Beyond, there definitely is something going on. But this is the first one where they're a couple, and it's oddly enough, this is the one where, because she's such a great actress, you're like, wow, she really hates it. But you can also tell she loves him. So,
yeah, I think the fact that they have a history together, like as actors, they're friends, they've known each other for so long, it really helps to add to their whole sense of history with the characters.
Yeah, and like I said, when we were at Crypticon, I mean, they're hanging out. They are close.
They've known each other forever, probably.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you guys have anything to add to that, like about their relationship?
Have you ever seen that movie, The Evil Clergyman?
No, I haven't. Are they in that together?
It's a weird movie. It's like, it's got like a kind of, I don't know. It's only like it's a short film. And my dog's barking, or my dog's whining.
I thought that was my dog. I was like, oh, what should I do?
No, he's whining. He needs to come back inside. My husband will bring him in. But, so he, like I said, he's, like, it's the weirdest thing. If you ever have the chance, it's a very, like, small, short film. It's got David Gale in it, who is also in Re-Animator.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen him in forever. God, is he still hot?
I think he passed away in early 2000.
He did? Sure. How did I not know that? That is tragic.
Because I don't know what else he was in.
He was a very good-looking and talented man.
Yeah, David Gill. I think he passed away. No.
Way to bum me out, Cujo.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 2018 or 2008. Yeah, 2008 he passed away.
I never know about anything. I feel like my dog's whining. I don't know. I think I'm paralyzed.
No, it's mine. I have 3. That's why.
I have 2, but they're on my bed.
Mine are crazy. Naughty. Yeah, Michael Long is still bummed that Stuart Gordon canceled at Texas Frightmare.
Yeah, I think the last time I was really bummed about someone canceling. Oh, hey, Ariel. Ariel is a longtime friend of mine back from Horror Addicts. Honey, do not be sorry. I'm just happy that you're here. We are talking about Barbara Crampton. Jump in anytime. God, I get distracted so easily. Damn it! What was I saying? I'm like talking to you guys. I'm looking at the chat. I'm trying to run the stream. Normally, I'm better at this.
Sorry.
What was I saying?
What was that?
Oh, I was going into something, but now I forgot.
Well, no, we finished the whole. Okay, so Castle Freak. I mean, do you want to rate it, or like along the lines of what's the best Barbara Crampton movie, or rate it all together as a movie?
What do you think are some of her highlights in this movie? Okay. Like the parts that really stand out to you?
The parts in Castle Freak, that's my husband. Sorry.
Hi, random dude. Hi, Cujo's husband.
Yeah, he'll say hi later. He I don't know. She's more of like a concerned mother. Like I get that mother figure. She lost her son. She's like hell-bent, worried about her blind daughter. And yeah, it's so hard for her sometimes, to kind of just deal. And she's really overprotective. Like I like that because that's how I am. about my daughter sometimes. She wants me to, like, you know, chill, take it easy.
My husband, Danny Nightmare, just showed up in the chat, by the way, so say hi.
Hey, husbando.
We co-host Horror Addicts together. My husband's awesome. Yeah, she's very overprotective, and it's one of those things where I feel like maybe had I seen this before I was a mother, I might have thought she was a little too hard, because clearly he is redemptive. Jeffrey Combs' character is redemptive, but now that I have a son of my own, I really feel that, you know, I mean, she's trying. I think a lot of people wouldn't have even tried, and I think she's really strong for sticking in there. But there are a few parts in this movie where I think she really stands out. There's a part where her daughter is attacked by the Castle Freak, and she freaks out on her husband. This is like right before the climax, and she's just got so much intensity and emotion, and even though she's screaming at him, I feel like you can still tell that her character loves her husband, which is, I think, a really hard thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very protective. Like, she literally offers herself to the Castle Freak at one point in order to protect her daughter. Like, she's just such a strong, like, brave woman.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I mean, if you've seen this guy, he's really scary. Now, he is the baker in Pit and the Pendulum, where he's not so scary and he's pretty good looking. But in this, he's terrifying. And so she's making a huge sacrifice because her children come first to her. But I think even her husband she puts before herself, but definitely not before her children. I think he's lost that with her.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
As a movie, where does this rank for you guys? What are your thoughts about it?
Like a 1 out of 10 or like 1 out of 5?
However you want. I mean, I feel like star ratings are pretty arbitrary. So if you do 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 4, if you just on my channel, I typically do see it, own it, skip it. Own it. However you do it.
Own it, see it, love it. Yeah, I like it.
See it.
Yes.
I'd definitely say see it. Out of the 3 movies that we watched for this, it was probably my least favorite, but just because I liked the other 2 so much.
Mm-hmm. This is a pretty great lineup. So even though I love Castle Freak, I do own it because, you know, my husband got it. But it is good. It would be my least favorite of the 3, but I do really like it. I think it's worth owning. It's not one that, you know, I'd say is a must own where I'd be like, you need to have this in your collection.
I collect movies, so I'm like, I'm sorry. I think I have to own everything.
But if you have a massive collection like we do, it's nice to have there on the shelf. It's one I've watched quite a few times. I also recommend checking out, if you guys haven't already, on Shudder. Joe Bob Briggs did cover this on his last drive-in, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Didn't he also do Re-Animator as well?
He did indeed. He needs to do From Beyond. One thing I forgot to mention is because we are talking about Lovecraftian horror here, and a lot of people may not know that this is a Lovecraft film. It's loosely based on a short story called The Outsider, which loosely based as in, from what I can remember, you might remember the story better than I do, or someone in the chat might remember the story better than I do, but if I remember correctly, this guy's a castle, like, he's abused and stuff similar to how he is in the movie, and then he sees himself in the mirror and then he gets afraid before he realizes
that's the
point
that the story ends is with him realizing that he's a monster. This movie continues on after that point and tries to establish him as a monster even more.
Yeah, so it's really expanded upon that. I think it is true to what we see in this story, but it's been a long time since I read it. I remember it being very, very short. So it's just kind of the genesis of this idea that Stuart Gordon has expanded upon.
I love the short story. It's one of my all-time favorite short stories.
It's really good. It's really good. And I think if we're going to dig into like some of the mythology like of it, or maybe metaphor of it, I think there are a lot of people who don't necessarily realize that they're monsters. Here's an example. I'm going to give you guys a little example. I saw that O.J. Simpson was trending on Twitter today, and I'm like, what the fuck?
You're trying to do what?
O.J.
What
Simpson.
was he trying to do?
Why?
He was trending on Twitter, and I had to find out why. I had to. So I clicked on it. Apparently, he's got a Twitter account. And he opens his Twitter account with a video Which basically just talks about what he plans on doing with his Twitter account, but he ends with, I have a lot of people to get even with. And I just got chills.
Oh, that is not okay.
Uh-oh.
Not okay.
No,
that
thank
would be an
you.
example to me of somebody who doesn't realize that they're a monster.
Yeah.
So it's like, you kind of wonder, like, a lot of these people, because I don't think anyone ever sees himself as the bad guy, as the villain. Like, there's been a lot of Ted Bundy stuff out lately. I don't think Ted Bundy saw himself as a villain. And you wonder if they could actually look into a mirror and see themselves the way largely the public sees them, would they know to be horrified? And I think
It depends on
would.
the ego. It really depends on the ego.
But if they didn't see it as them, as they saw it how we see them, you know? Like, in physical form, what that would look like.
My assumption would be that most monsters would at least try to rationalize why they're monsters, too.
But in
True.
the outside, he doesn't necessarily initially realize that it's him. It takes him a second, and he's like, oh, God, that's me.
Yeah.
So I wonder. I don't know. It's something to think about. Beth S. is here, and Anissa Vala's... You know what? Hey, Anissa, what's up?
Anissa! What's up, girl?
You know what? Haley. Hey, Anissa.
Venezuela.
There we go.
Venezuela. Sorry. I'm
bad with names. Bad with names. All right. Castle Freak. It's a good one. Let us move on. Who picked the last one?
I picked the last one, I think. So,
all right. Where should we move next? Cujo? I'm excited to hear what you think of From Beyond, because you hadn't seen that.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's talk about From Beyond.
I saw it. I did my homework. You'll be very proud of me.
So this is a first watch for you, right?
I bought it on Blu-ray, watched it. Oh man. And wow. I was kind of very shocked. I did like how it, like, I don't know. I do like the movie as well. What was it? What else?
It's a weird movie.
Yeah, it is a weird movie.
This gets full on Lovecraft.
Oh yeah.
I would say this is the most, like,
we got full on tentacle beasts in this.
Yes, how we view Lovecraft. This is full on Lovecraft.
What is it? Lovecraftian. Oh man, it is just, I don't know. I liked how the concept started, and then it just goes with like a weird twist of like how, I don't know, it's like Ken Voorhees and just, you know, what happens to Jeffrey Combs in the beginning and how he's like freaked out and everything like that. And then he's not, like, he doesn't want to go back to that house because the doctor that, you know, he was under completely disintegrated into this weird fucking orb thing. Excuse me. Weird orb
You
thing.
can swear all you want.
Okay. I'm gonna get a lot bad. Demonetized. Anyway, and so, like, just the whole thing is that the doctor is like some sex crazed weirdo. What is it, Wilby? But, like, I see that, and it's like, this guy has, like, the total, like, bondage den in this house, and he, you know, he's just amazed at that this weird machine starts working, but then he gets disintegrated into it and comes back as this entity that, like, oh, man, it's just all kinds of weird stuff. I was kind of blown away by this movie in particular. Very weird ass movie.
There came a point in the movie where I just had to accept that anything could happen at a moment's notice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got so much goo. And I love that the goo is pink. And he's got a little forehead penis, which I love.
Yeah, that's great.
Love the little
Also
forehead
vast.
penis.
Their dynamic in this movie is completely different than in Castle Freak.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we start off by seeing Barbara Crampton's character, and she's got the bun and the outfit, and she's a doctor, and she wants to use his research essentially in this house, you know, to wasn't it to help people with schizophrenia? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, she tells a story about her father having schizophrenia and how she wants to help make conditions better for people who have had issues with it.
Yeah, because
But this house really brings out a lot in her.
Oh,
We
yeah.
see Barbara Crampton in full-on dominatrix gear, which, side note, she did sell that outfit at a yard sale. I wish I had that. Yes! She sold it!
Wow.
A lot of Barbara Crampton in this. A lot of bondage Barbara Crampton. Which, by the way, that reminds me, Jay Bond from Blood, Bath & Beyond told me to say that he thinks Barbara Crampton has the best laying down boobs. So there you have that. She does have great boobs.
They do portion well.
So she's full on dominatrix gear in here. So how do you view her going from the conservative looking doctor to the dominatrix? Is it the house that changed her? Did the house bring it out of her? What do you think is going on there?
The house. It had to be the house, or it had to be the entity in the house that did this, that made her this, like, weird, I don't know, she tries to take advantage of him when he's just in his state of, like, comatose, he's dead to the world, you know, but then it's just, I don't know, her brain is, it's a weird, just how they did it. It's just like, I was like, okay, you went that way, you went that direction, okay, I'll keep watching.
As Monty said in the chat, this movie has incredible practical effects.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. It is really difficult to explain this one. This is one where I tell people a lot, you know, you gotta see this. And they're like, what's it about? I'm like, fuck me. I don't know where to start. I will tell you guys that when I talked to Barbara Crampton, I met her last year. She says this is her favorite role. And I think it's because she wasn't playing the girlfriend. She wasn't playing the friend. Or this was a role where she was somebody who had power. You know, she's a doctor. She is the person with the knowledge. You know, yes, Jeffrey Combs is a scientist, and, you know, he's very intelligent too, but they're more equal in this. Whereas in Re-Animator, he's a scientist. He's just kind of like, you're what's in the way. You know, me and this guy are trying to work some stuff out. You are the girlfriend. Can you please just... He just wants her away because she's a distraction. In this, they are on equal level. She's a highly intelligent doctor. You know, he's a scientist. They're on an equal playing field.
Yeah, this was probably my favorite role of hers in the 3 movies that we saw for this. Because she's so ambitious. She's willing to do whatever it takes to get her answers. She's just a great, strong character.
Yeah, especially, you know, for considering where she came from. I think this is a huge step up as far as her having her own power, which I really like. And to me, and I think this is entirely up to debate, I think this is entirely your own interpretation. But to me, I feel like that scene, she is taking control of the situation. Because Jeffrey Combs' character he's in a place where he's like, oh shit, this may be too big to handle. And she's pushing him forward. She's manipulating him. She's like taking control of the situation. And she's using things, obviously, you know, he's, you know, got the sex dungeon. So, I don't know. Do you guys see that differently? Because I feel like that's her taking control, trying to overpower him.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
And in the chat, obviously, let me know what you guys think, too. Because I think this is very subjective. I think you can see this scene a number of different ways. This is just how I see it.
There were a few times in the movie when people would make comments about how, like, the dominatrix side isn't her and she's a smart scientist and all of that. And I kept thinking, like, why can't she be both?
I think she is both. And I agree with what you're saying here 100%. I think you can see it both ways. I think you can see it as maybe the house has done it to her. Maybe the influence of Jeffrey Combs. I believe the house brought it out of her. She is a scientist, but that does not mean she doesn't like her kink. You know, I think it was there. Maybe she never put on, you know, full-on dominatrix gear before. I don't know. I think that part might have been new. But I think that desire to delve into that sexy side, to delve into that, because she is somebody who likes power. And being a dominatrix is all about having all of the power.
Letting her hair down.
Absolutely. And up until that point, her and Jeffrey Combs, in my opinion, are on an equal playing ground. Being a dominatrix is not about being equal. It's about being the most powerful person in the room and having the other person be your subservient. So I feel like in that scene, she's saying, okay, we're not equals. I am, the master of the situation. You're going to behave how I want you to behave.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But I do think that was there all along, because especially being a doctor, and this is the 80s, guys, things were not that equal. I think she has that desire to be in charge. But
yeah.
she's kind of pigeonholed into this box where nobody's allowing her to do that. And she's certainly smart enough for it. She's talented enough for it. She knows she deserves it. And now she's finally taking it.
Yeah. I would agree with all of that.
The Horror Zone says a little tidbit that most don't know. Her and Stuart went dominatrix outfit shopping for the scene and couldn't find anything that Stuart wanted to, so the outfit was custom made.
Oh, that's awesome. And she still sold it at a yard sale. You're killing me here, Barbara. That's my my buddy Drake at the Horror Zone. That is an awesome tidbit. Michael Long said he had a completely different experience. I think he's talking to Anesia. Oh, well. Anesia said she feels like Barbara Crampton in person didn't know how to handle the fandom she had. Little to nothing to say when they met. Michael Long says he had a different experience with her. He talked about her role in Lords of Salem that was cut from the film. I do know from my experience, because I also got to see her in an interview, which was great, and she very much loves the horror community, and she fully embraces the horror community. If you guys watch The Last Drive-In, I'm a drive-in mute, and I watch The Last Drive-In, and I'm on Twitter when I watch it live. She is always there tweeting too. She loves this genre. She loves the fans. The fans of this genre are the most loyal of any genre, and that's just not me just saying. That's me going to meeting numerous celebrities who are like, yeah, horror fans are ride or die. We don't give up on you. And she loves that. However, what I think you might have been picking up on, and I don't know because I wasn't there when you met her, but I think what you might have been picking up on was she does not like being seen as a scream queen. She finds the term extremely offensive. She has written a really good article about it. I can't remember where she posted it, but talking about how scream queen is very diminutive to women. It's reducing a actress down to basically, being a pair of lungs in both terms that is viewed in, being boobs and being a victim. It's not giving them credit where it's due, and she says it's very limiting. Now, it's never bothered me that way, but what do you guys think about that?
I know that she has talked quite a bit about wanting women to be stronger in horror. I definitely think that was a problem in the past, but I do think that we've been moving away from that for a long time, and I don't necessarily have a problem with the term scream queen, but I do think that women are getting much stronger in horror, just generally.
And it's not even so much the roles.
Yeah.
It's the terminology used to describe them that she's really, and she also doesn't like Final Girl. She thinks both of those are holding women back. And she's a strong advocate for women, for actresses in general, as well as actresses in horror. She really wants, women of all ages and colors to be able to get their opportunities. She wants to see us, behind the camera and in front of it. And,
oh, yeah, totally.
She wants us to get better roles. And she's talking from experience here, because as much as she loved her roles, I know her first movie, it was her. I can't remember the name of it. Let me know in the chat if you remember it. It's her and the guy who was Evil Ed in Fright Night. They did a movie together, which was like just a teen kind of sexy movie.
It wasn't a horror movie in any way, shape, or
It's not
form.
a horror movie. But she said that she had a blast making that, because it was basically
like
just a party.
Summer Vacation?
Something like that, yeah. But she did a lot of these kind of, fun, kind of not serious female roles, and it wasn't as rewarding for her as like now, where she's being treated more seriously as an actress and she's being offered really serious parts. That's not to say that like the movies we're talking about today, I know she loves all three of these. One of the things she loved the most about Re-Animator, which was the first of these three that she did, is Stuart Gordon allowed them to just kind of decide how they wanted to rehearse. And in her apartment, the three leads would rehearse for hours and hours and hours because they all had a theater background, and she loved that, and she felt like they were so prepared when they went into actual filming. But she's very serious about her craft, and she doesn't like it being, I guess, belittled, or I'm not finding the right word for it, but she doesn't like it being cheapened. And I think she feels that the terms Final Girl and Scream Queen really cheapen essentially what she and other women do. Mm-hmm. Because typically these women are the heroes.
Yeah.
And the hero has a much bigger, it's just a bigger, more powerful word than Final Girl or Scream Queen. If you say, Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams is a hero, you don't call him the Scream Boy. He's the hero.
Yeah, because that just sounds terrible.
But we call somebody who's equally heroic, like Laurie Strode, equally heroic fighting Michael Myers, we call her a Scream Queen or a Final Girl. And Final Girl, the other part of that is it's not giving them credit for overcoming whatever it is they had to overcome in the movie. It's just saying you're the last one there. But typically it takes a lot for them to become the last one there, and we're not giving them credit where it's due.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, the more that you say this, the more you're winning me over to your side.
Yeah, because that makes
These
sense.
are her arguments. I'm not taking credit for this. This is her argument. And I see it. It doesn't bother me personally, but I am very careful not to use this with actresses that I respect. I'm not an actress.
Yeah.
I'm just a horror lover, and it's a term I grew up with, and it does not offend me. But I am not an actress. I do see how it can be offensive to people, but it's not like if I hear somebody say it, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so sexist. It doesn't bother me in that way.
Oh yeah, totally.
But it's something I try not to say when I'm talking to, like, if I met Barbara Crampton, the last thing I was going to do is be like, oh my God, you're my favorite Scream Queen, because I don't want to get punched. I respect her, and I certainly wouldn't want anyone I admire to think that I don't respect them. And I think even if it doesn't bother you, that's if you happen to meet somebody at a convention or you are able to interview somebody, that's just something to keep in mind, that even if it doesn't offend you, it might offend them.
Yeah.
That's something to keep in mind with anything. One argument I tend to have with a lot of people, my best friend's husband and son are little people. There is a word people use to describe little people that is very, very offensive to them. And I always, whenever I tell people, that's something, especially when I introduce people to my friends, I'm like, these are things you don't do. There's always somebody like who says, but I have a friend and they say it's okay. Okay. Even if it doesn't offend you, you need to understand that it can offend other people. And so that's how it is with the Scream Queen thing. Like, I don't personally think it's bad, but I do see her argument. And she does have a valid argument. If that made any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's where we're coming from with that. But, wrapping it back around to From Beyond, because we got off onto a little trail, as we do on this show. Hey, Lady Days, what's up, girl? I am like, hey, squirrel. But From Beyond. So, yeah, I absolutely, to tie it back in, wouldn't say that this is a Scream Queen. One, she's not the one who's terrified in this. If anything, I think...
Jeffrey Combs is more of the Scream Queen, like the stereotypical.
There's parts in this where he's absolutely terrified, which I think even somebody who's terrified, the fact that they're there and they're facing their fears takes bravery, and I don't think being afraid means that you are weaker. But he's the Scream Queen, if anyone's a Scream Queen. Also, side note, speaking of Scream Queen, there are actors and stuff who also fully embrace this. So I think maybe it's just something you need to research. I know somebody who fully embraces this is goddamn Mark Patton. I hope I got the name right.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Patton, who is the lead in A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, he has a movie called Scream Queen. He fully embraces it. So it really depends who you talk to. I know a lot of people love it. I got called to Scream Queen once because I used to do haunts, and someone told me they could hear me screaming from the front gate, and I was in the back. And they're like, you're a real Scream Queen. I'm like, fuck yeah, applesauce. I was really happy. But like I said, it depends. So I'm going to call Jeffrey Combs a Scream Queen in this, and if he hates me, Jeffrey, I'm sorry. I love you. But, and I also don't know if Final Girl necessarily applies either, but, God, what would you guys call her in this? She's not a hero either. What the fuck do you call her in this? Like, how would you define her character?
I
The
don't know.
closest I want to say is hero.
Yeah. I feel like she's more on the line of, like, she wants to know what the hell is eating up Jeffrey Combs. She doesn't think he's lost his damn mind. She needs to know what the hell happened in this movie. And so she cares. She's trying to nurture him, to nurse him, or, take care of him and get him back to his health, like being there. I feel like it's almost like a motherly kind of, not really motherly, but kind of like,
Which
just like,
ties into Castle Freak. Cujo,
mm-hmm.
you're so good. She's so good. You're good too,
I don't
Sierra.
feel
Don't feel
it.
left out.
I'm terrible. So I don't know. The whole thing with that is that she is there. She's worried about him. She wants to believe him, but she needs to see the science in it because there has to be an explanation in these things.
Okay.
And yeah.
I totally agree with what you're saying. But I think my term for who she is in this is I would say she's the protagonist. Because the protagonist is the person who causes change in the movie. They push the story forward. And without her, I do not feel that the story moves forward. Every time we get to a place where I feel like Jeffrey Combs' character is like, I'm done. This is too fucking much. She's the one who's like, nope, we're going to keep doing this. She's the one who I feel pushes the narrative forward, even from the beginning. So.
Yeah, if it was up to Jeffrey Combs, none of this movie would have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him. He's like the Shaggy in this. The very smart
He's
Shaggy.
great.
Sierra, how do you define her in this?
Yeah, I probably agree with the whole protagonist then. She's definitely... The reason why I'm kind of iffy on Hero is even though she is the one that, spoiler alert, defeats the monster at the end, she's also very seduced by the monster throughout the whole movie.
Yes. Yes.
Because in a way, don't we all have a bit of the gooey pink monster in us? Yeah. Dude, we're getting deep here.
Woo!
It's probably just the Bud
Oh my
Light
god.
orange. Just ignore everything I say. Sierra, talk more.
She's constantly the one that's just driving the plot forward and causing everything that happens pretty much.
So, from Beyond, fun fact, my buddy Drake says, did you know the red gooey stuff Jeff is trapped in towards the end before the house explodes, Jeff has said is super cold and it's used in McDonald's ice cream.
Oh.
Yummy.
I'm not gonna eat
It
that
reminds
anymore.
me a lot of the movie The Blob.
Yeah.
The remake of The Blob, where it's very pink. I like that, though. I remember Joe Bob Briggs, because, like I said, I'm a driving mutant, guys. He has one of his biggest complaints about the stuff is he's like, nothing's scary about white. White's not scary. It's about killer ice cream, if you guys haven't seen it. And he said, like, orange. But I think pink works. Oddly, you wouldn't think pink is scary, but it works
like
in The Blob.
Ghostbusters.
It works in Ghostbusters, too, and it works in this.
It's, like, weirdly otherworldly and not right and not natural, so it works really well.
I mean, pink is an offshoot of red, so I think it kind of makes you think of blood, but it's pink, which looks unnatural.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monty gets it. Everyone's agreeing with me. I'm very nervous. I live in a house with all men, so yeah, I'm not used to that. But it's okay. I'm going to ride this while it lasts. So, shit. I want to know, because I cannot, when I tell people, and in the chat too, I'd love to hear what you guys say. If you were to recommend this movie to somebody and they said, what is it about? Or for instance, if you had to write what's on the back of the box, a little blurb to explain what this movie is about, because I do not envy the person who had that job. How do you guys describe this? Because I really need something to say, because I recommend this movie a lot, and I'm usually just like, you have to see it.
If whips and chains excite you, then this is your... No.
I was describing it to people by saying that it was Re-Animator meets Hellraiser.
That is a very good explanation.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely
That should
see
be on the front of the box. Re-Animator meets Hellraiser, Ciara Hall. Which, by the way, I think is every reviewer's like dream. It's my dream that one day I'm gonna be quoted on a box. One day, it's gonna be something awful though. I have the worst quotes.
Like a cereal box, or like.
Now,
just
Lady Days says something that I really like. She says, women may not be heroes in horror movies, but they're definitely survivors. And that is another term that's used a lot, is survivor girl. I do think part of the reason why Final Girl does not bother me is that term, why can't I pronounce anything today? That term was coined in the book Men, Women, and Chainsaws, which is, I think, the best gender studies book there is on horror. Absolutely check that one out if you guys haven't. But that's where that term was first used. And because I think I love that book.
That's a great book.
Yes. It's very good. It's very smart. So smart. Like, it talks about so many movies and it just makes you appreciate them so much more. Like, I didn't realize. I loved Texas Chainsaw Massacre too, but when she described the end of that as basically her like waving her giant chainsaw dong around, I was like, oh my god, I love this so much more now. Yeah, she's brilliant. I really love that book.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Drake says, if you like ice cream and you like whips, then check out this movie. It will be a deliciously sexy thrill ride. That works. Cujo, do you have anything that you would put on the back of the box?
Oh god, I don't even know where to begin with that. No. I don't know. I'm really uncertain. Like, not nowadays. Nobody reads the like the DVD or the Blu-ray or anything like that. They'll go to like Wikipedia or they'll go to IMDb and they'll look for it, and there'll be like basically paragraphs full of describing every part of this movie. But I don't know. It's just it's hard to explain. But I believe that was a really good kind of synopsis to how they, how Horror Zone, who was it that put that had it kind of well said? Oh, God, I'm trying to remember. But yeah, just thinking about that made more sense to it.
Hey, Death Central, he just showed up.
Hello.
Here's the question. I have not read the Lovecraft story that this is based on. Have you read it, and do you know what it's called? I need to read more Lovecraft.
No, I have
not.
This
is the only movie that we're talking about today that I have not read the Lovecraft story for.
Yeah, I've read Re-Animator. I've read The Outsider. This one I don't know.
I have not.
What's it even called? Somebody's got to know. You guys
the
gotta
only
know.
thing I know is that it's like 7 pages long. That was the only thing I was able to find about it.
Yeah,
Short story of the same name, so it's From Beyond.
So it's also called From Beyond.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was published in 1934. But yeah, that pretty much, you said it's like it's a novel. For being a short story, it's a novel. So that's weird.
I have not read this one, so I can't tell you guys much about how it compares. But let's talk about how we feel about this movie. Just the movie overall. Oh wait, no. Best Barbara Crampton moment.
When she's putting on the bondage gear. Yeah, I think that's my favorite moment.
The whole bondage scene is so great, which is why it's the thumbnail, guys. I love this scene so much.
She looks great.
Like, my only regret meeting Barbara Crampton, like I said, I was really nervous to meet her. And despite how I seem on my show, maybe, I am horribly introverted and very socially awkward. And so I put it off, and my friends were like, if you don't go, you're going to miss her. And I'd been building up to it all weekend. I go, and she's packing up her stuff, and I was like, can I please buy an autograph and get a picture with you? And she's very sweet and let me do it. But because I didn't want to take up any more of her time, they're like, what picture do you want? I was like, anyone! I don't care, whatever's on top. But had I picked, I would have wanted one of her in the dominatrix gear. But I got a really cute one. I'm going to grab it for you off the wall. Ow, balls! I got a cute one. No complaints. But this is from Re-Animator, and it says, "Where's Rufus?" So I do love that.
That's cute.
Rufus is the cat, and if you guys have seen it, it doesn't end well
for him.
For
Yeah,
real.
poor Rufus.
Kitty, 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 kitty. Come here. Come here, butthead. Come here. Oh, Dexter. He's naughty.
Hi, kitty.
Oh, he's so bad.
I have an orange kitty, but if I had another cat, I'd want a black cat too.
Like a little Morris looking one.
He looks like Jonesy. He's like an orange tabby.
I bet he's cute.
I'm a sucker for orange cats.
I used to have a black and white cat, but she was a total bitch, and I loved it.
Yeah, I had a white cat once that was a total bitch. I'll show you on my phone when it boots up. So, yeah, this movie, it's a lot to unpack. I will say because I know some people who don't like this movie, I think it's one you need to watch more than once because it's a lot to take in. Watch it more than once. It's definitely not an easy watch. It's not a beer and pizza movie. Like, there's some movies like Jason X where you have your buddies over, you pop that in, you can still have a good time. You know, there are movies for different occasions. This is a sit down. You need to pay attention because there's a lot going on here, but it is definitely worth your time. It's one I recommend. I would say that this is one you should definitely own. What do you guys think?
It's weird and it's a total mess, but it's a lot of fun.
Gotta stay focused watching it.
Here's my kitty. If you there's a delay, so you might not get to see it right away, but there's my kitty. That's Kirby. It's actually technically my son's cat. Lol.
But the cat does the cat favor you more than the
my
child?
son is not a big animal person. Cats are about the most. That's part of the reason why we kept him, because he actually took a liking to him. Typically, Laws eats cats, so that was kind of unusual. But he does like the cat. He just doesn't like pet him or anything. But he just play with him.
Yeah.
Lols. Good people. My son. Anyhow, Ciara, you said you recommend it. Cujo.
Definitely recommend it.
We are unanimous.
Yes, I liked it, but I like all the movies. I don't think I hate all of them, but I haven't really, seen I don't know. I'm just on the fence when it comes to this. But when I saw this, I'm pretty much kind of, I was like, all right, this is definitely something you have to watch on your own.
I also feel like this is, and, everything I say is open to debate. You don't have to agree with me, but I do feel, in my opinion, that this is the most Lovecraft movie.
I'd agree, yeah.
Like, if you're unfamiliar with any of Stuart Gordon's work and you're just want to go full Lovecraft, like you just want to dive in, I would say if you were a big Lovecraft fan, this is the one I would definitely recommend above the others.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. I could totally see someone hating this movie just because it is so insane, but I personally love it. I think it's great.
Do you want to talk about the ending really quick?
Yeah, sure. I don't know what to say.
Did you say ends or did you say is so insane? What do you guys think makes this movie so insane?
There's just so much going on at all times, and anything could happen at any moment. And
like drive-in totals on this one. You've got dominatrix. You've got Michael Long said pineal gland, but I'm gonna say tiny forehead penis.
Yes.
Yep.
Tons of pink goo.
And
Jeffrey Combs sucking eyeballs out of people's skulls.
Yeah. Other dimensions. Like parts of it kind of remind me of the movie House with William Catt.
Oh, yeah.
Parts of it kind of remind me of that because there are other dimensions here. But God, there's a lot going on in this movie. A lot. Which I feel like there's a lot going on a lot of Lovecraft stuff, which is why I really need to track down this story.
I really do want to read the story. I'm curious to know what Lovecraft did with it.
Yeah. If I can track it down, Ciara, I'm going to reach out to you and Cujo, and we're going to have the book club. We're going to have to be like, all right, ladies, did we all read our book club? Just because I want to talk about this. But there's that. Now, let's talk about her character compared to her character in Castle Freak. I mean, they're so different. I think what would be a similarity is I do believe in Castle Freak she is the one with all the power.
Yeah. She's very strong in both roles.
She's the one with all the power because her husband, played by Jeffrey Combs in that, is on a redemption track. He's trying to get his family back, and he knows he's on very thin ice and that she's about had enough. She's had about all she can take, but she does love him, and that's the only reason he's there, and she knows that his daughter loves him.
Yeah.
But she is the one with all of the power. In this, I feel like Jeffrey Combs knows from the beginning of the movie in Castle Freak that she has all the power. And I do feel like he gets a little closer to
burying the hatchet.
Getting, like, forgiveness, getting on equal ground with her. Because he really needs that forgiveness to be on equal ground with her by the end of the movie. On this one, I feel like Barbara Crampton's character and Jeffrey Combs' character start as what we perceive as equals, but by the end of it, she is the one in power. So it's the same situation, the same dynamic, but in reverse from Castle Freak.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So, last but not least.
What's the next one? I want to know if anybody in the chat has not seen Re-Animator.
Just you live under
it's okay. It's okay if you haven't, because you know, I'm from a horror family. I was raised on horror films, but I was raised on the films my parents liked. And my parents liked a lot of stuff, like a lot of Stephen King stuff, but like my parents weren't big into slashers. I had to find those all on my own. And all three of these movies I found like when I became a teenager and when I became an adult.
Same.
So, if you haven't seen them, it's okay. There's plenty of time. No one's judging you. Hey, Brian the Horror Guru. What's up?
If you haven't seen them, though, I will say you have to watch it.
Bride of Re-Animator, that was how I found Ciara. So this is something I recommend doing because I firmly have said this for a very, very, very long time. Your subscriber count is no indication of your quality. If that was the case, we'd all be subscribed to Jake Paul. And if you are, I'm not judging you, but he ain't for me. So, regularly, I will type in stuff that I'm interested in seeing more stuff on. I typed in Bride of Re-Animator. I found Ciara's channel. I'm like, this is some pretty good stuff. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to subscribe. So, that's something I recommend any of you who like watching a lot of horror stuff on YouTube do, because then you just find some great channels. I think, my new channel, Horror Addicts, which I have done for the last 4 years. We're over 10K, but my new channel is only 500, and I don't think I'm doing anything different. You know, subscriber count is no indicator of quality, and I don't think anybody here has more than 1,000. So I could be wrong, but they're all quality channels, and just check them out. I believe links to these two ladies are in the description, and they should be in the card.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Re-Animator. Re-Animator is a lot easier to explain.
It is.
From Beyond. A lot easier to explain. I made you two do the synopsis on the last one, so I'm going to take the easy one. Re-Animator. Oh, I have a really cool... it's way too far away for me to show you, but I do have a certificate on my wall for Herbert West, his graduation certificate. I have weird stuff in here. But Herbert West is somebody who believes he has developed a serum that, when injected into a dead body, will reanimate them, thus making him the Re-Animator. And he is just trying to kind of work this out and see if everything he believes that he's discovered indeed works. He needs to get a flat, so he ends up renting the basement of our main character, who has a girlfriend, and he's a doctor. And this guy is... He finds out about what Herbert West is doing. He's like, okay, that sounds kind of cool. Because he reanimates the guy's cat. God, what is his name? David? I'm terrible with names.
Dan Kane.
Dan. He reanimates Dan's dead cat, Rufus. And so Dan is like, okay, yeah, it works. But they need to not tell the girlfriend who's always there, and the girlfriend who thinks Herbert West is a fucking weirdo. And, you know, I will say Herbert West has no social skills. Like, none.
Yeah,
Originally, now this is a little fun fact, when they were casting the part, they wanted somebody who was, like, blonde and tall and kind of good looking, and they had that in their call sheet for, like, that's what they wanted to see. And Jeffrey Combs showed up anyway, and he was completely not what they were looking for, and he completely just won them over. So, and I think,
oddly enough, in this short story, Herbert West is described as being like blonde and beautiful and all of this stuff.
Which is that's what they were looking for, because Stuart Gordon is a huge Lovecraft fan. Obviously, he made all 3 of these movies. He really wanted to be true to this story. This is one of the more read stories, even though it was out of print for a very long time. This is one that a lot of people are familiar with. Yeah. So, yeah, he's like, people know who Herbert West is. We need to be true to it. Or, you know, hopefully the movie will do well and people are going to want to find out more about who Herbert West is. And so, yeah, we need to be true to it. But Jeffrey Combs completely won them over. And even though I've read the story, I did read it after I saw the movie. When I think of Herbert West, I think of Jeffrey Combs.
Exactly. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same.
But yeah, the girlfriend, very suspicious. She's like, this guy, he ain't right in the head. He ain't right at all. Where's Rufus, huh? Where's Rufus? And,
on ice.
Yeah.
Poor Rufus.
Poor Rufus.
But, yeah, very, very different. Meanwhile, we also have, she's also, I should mention, she is the daughter of the dean of the hospital, which makes things complicated. Like, he can't know that her and Dan are dating because, you know, that's his employee. And also another doctor there has a very perverse crush on her, which comes into the story later on. It's
creepy,
awkward.
Yeah.
This movie also has all the dongs and breasts and like everything. Like, if I was a health teacher, now I am a teacher, believe it or not. But if I were a health teacher, this is the movie I'd put on for my students. I'd be like, okay, that's a dong. That's a vagina. That's another dog.
There is so much casual nudity.
Yes. I would. I mean, I probably should.
This isn't a weird thing to say, but I love that a lot of the actors that were naked through this movie were not like conventionally attractive actors too.
Nope.
Like, I feel like that's a weird thing to say, but I think that nowadays, if they did have that much nudity in a movie, everyone would look like a supermodel.
Yes. No, I love that too. Brian mentioned one of my favorite quotes from the movie, "Cat dead, details later." God, I love Herbert West. Herbert West is one of my, I feel like, even though we're talking about Barbara Crampton here, you can't talk about Barbara Crampton or these 3 movies without talking about Jeffrey Combs and Stuart Gordon. But for me, what makes Re-Animator so great, it's a couple things, and I'm going to get to the other thing. It's 2 things, but big part of it is Herbert West. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. I just love this character. He's so unconventional. He is the protagonist of this movie. So unconventional, but God, I just love him. He's so awkward and weird. Is it weird that he reminds me of my son? He reminds me a lot of my son. Like, a lot.
Like how? Like, are there mannerisms that kind of make you think of your son?
I mean, the difference is my son actually cares about, like, trying, but my son has no social skills. Like, I told my son he wanted to give his band teacher cookies the other day because his band teacher told me he liked cookies, and my son felt bad because he missed a concert or something. So I was like, well, how'd it go? What happened? You know, like, if I were to give someone cookies, I'd be like, cookies, and then we'd hug, and then we'd eat cookies. That's what would happen if I did it. He's like, well, I gave him the cookies, and then I bowed. I'm like, you're a fucking weirdo. My son's also very into science. Like, he's very into science, and from the time he was really little, he responded more to, like, he's not big on discussing, like, feelings and stuff, and so he was very analytical. So I just had to explain to him, instead of, you know, don't go into the road because I'll be afraid and, you know, it's really scary. It's more of, okay, if you go into the road, cars are really heavy. They weigh a lot. You don't weigh that much. It's going to smoosh you and you'll probably be dead.
Yeah.
That makes complete and total sense. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. He's very, very straight and narrow.
As long as it works with him.
He's great. He's great. He's great. Love the kid.
I was gonna pull, like, from the chat. Brian wants to talk about, like, the relationship, I guess, with, because Bruce Abbott doesn't get any love in this movie. Well, I mean, he does get love in this movie.
God, he is very, very handsome.
He is, but I don't know. I have mixed feelings about him.
The problem with Bruce Abbott, and Bruce Abbott is in Bride of Re-Animator as well. Barbara Crampton did not return for that one. But the problem with Bruce Abbott is even though he does a great job, I do feel like he is the heart of the movie because Herbert West is not an emotional person.
Yeah.
We watch him more just because we're fascinated because he's so unlike us, and he's funny. And it's funny because he operates so differently. He's so just unique. Bruce Abbott is more of, I think, how a lot of us would be. He's trying to please the girlfriend, but he's interested in the science, and he's trying to make the boss happy. Like, he's a nice guy.
Because that could be his future father-in-law.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. And the other part of what I really like about this movie is, okay, you guys are going to think I'm weird, but I think this movie's really romantic.
I could see that, yeah.
Especially, like, the end, because his girlfriend dies, and then, like, there's a really cool part where he, like, injects her. I don't know, the music and everything is just, it's a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Him
and his girlfriend are sweet together.
They're very sweet. It's a good date movie.
It is.
And so I like that. So I would say he is the heart of this movie, which is unfortunate because he does get overshadowed by Jeffrey Combs. And he also, dude, here's my thing. Barbara Crampton got naked. A lot of the side actors got naked. Now, Jeffrey Combs didn't have to get naked because he was, like, acting his pants off.
It would have been great if he did get naked, just saying,
I would not be opposed to that.
But Bruce Abbott, honey, drop trow. Drop dong. If Bruce Abbott dropped dong.
Nice butt, too.
We would have remembered him a lot more. But no, I think he did a great job. I talk about dongs a lot in this show. That's a thing.
What?
It's a thing that happens. I have a sexy horror calendar up on my wall. They did a sexy Re-Animator a while ago.
What?
I do. This month it's
Can you share?
This month it's Sexy Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
Nice.
Re-Animator was last year. But I do get the sexy horror calendar. Look, it's Sexy Night of the Living Dead. What?
God, send me a link. I want a sexy...
It's the Year of Fear calendar.
Year of Fear. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Ooh. Nice.
So, there's a lot of things going on in this movie as well. Though, probably not as many things as we're going on in From Beyond, but there's a lot. Where do we start? Re-Animator is also the one I feel that has really extended beyond the films and the story more than anything else. Like, I love the Hack Slash comics. Re-Animator's been in there. Re-Animator's crossed over into a number of other areas as well. So,
yeah, there's been a few comics for Re-Animator. I know that there was an Ash versus Re-Animator then for a while there.
Have you read Hack Slash?
I have, yeah. I love that comic.
You have like a Cassie Hack thing going on. So it's like, dude, if you haven't, you need to like read it. I love Hack Slash. Hack Slash is the best.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
It's good stuff. I love Cassie Hack, so that's a compliment.
Me too.
Okay, so Re-Animator. The other part of this, I mean, in a sense, you could easily argue, and I would totally see your point of view. You could also argue that Barbara Crampton is the heart of this movie, mostly because I think she's the most innocent, because she is not on board with the whole playing God thing, which is why the girlfriend can't know, because she would not get it. Dan's character, Dan is seduced by the science of it because he is a scientist, and that kind of puts him in some morally ambiguous ground. But Barbara Crampton's character is like, nope, that's fucking wrong. And I mean, she gets like firsthand like placed into a situation where she's definitely going to see that too, because she gets abducted later on in this movie by someone who's reanimated, who's just a reanimated head, which is really scary.
Yeah, that whole scene is horrifying.
Very scary stuff. Very scary. So, Barbara Crampton. In this, I would say it's very different than Castle Freak and From Beyond, because to me, she's completely powerless in this movie.
I'd agree, yeah. She's very much the victim in this one.
she is, like, her boyfriend doesn't even trust her to tell her what's going on, which for me, being married, that would annoy me, being left in the dark.
Yeah.
He doesn't trust her to have the information, and he's very worried about her father finding out because, he's going to get in trouble. Like, she's not implicated in really anything. Like, she's, daddy's girl, she's the sweet girlfriend, and she eventually ends up getting abducted, which puts her in kind of a victim role in this, and he strips her down. She's, violated, not like in a... Violated as in he strips her down and makes her obviously very uncomfortable, but, she's not put in a great position, and then ultimately she's killed.
Yeah.
There's no redemption for her. Hey, de-zombified! I wouldn't say at any point in this movie she has any kind of power. And in a way, you could kind of see this. Have you guys ever had a friend, or, maybe it was you who had the friend, where your spouse is a little kind of jealous that you're spending a lot of time with this person, or maybe you're a little jealous because, your spouse has a, friend who's over all the fucking time, and you're like, what's up? Like, why are you spending so much time with this dude? Like, what the hell's going on? What are you guys doing? What are you doing in the basement? I think a lot of people have had this.
Oh, yeah.
And we have that in this movie. Because it's not just that she knows something's obviously being kept from her. And I think, especially when it's, like, what people call, like, the guy time and stuff, you're just like, well, why the fuck can't I know? I like guy stuff, And in this, I don't think she would like being, having things reanimated. But they didn't give her a chance to find out. And that's not cool. So there is kind of an instant rivalry between her and Herbert West. Because they're both, in their own ways, vying for Dan's attention.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that when she is finally introduced, at least somewhat, to the whole reanimation thing, it's because they've murdered her dad.
Talk about that. That's a great point.
Yeah, her dad is the one of the first people that comes back as a zombie and actually like sticks around as a zombie for a while. So she has to watch her father basically just deteriorate mentally.
And she doesn't know why.
Yeah, nobody explains it to her. She has to figure it out pretty much on her own. And the only person that she feels like she can trust is the one that later kidnaps and violates her. So
yeah, everyone she trusts betrays her.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend, the man who ends up abducting her. No, it's sad. Cujo, thoughts? Are you still there? Cujo?
I think your audio might be off.
Mine?
Hers. Cujo.
Oh. I've been wondering why she's so quiet.
Yeah, it's been a while since she said anything.
Can you hear? Hello.
There we go.
Oh, okay, there we go.
We got
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can
You're
hear
good.
ya.
Okay.
So,
oh God.
What are your thoughts on like her dad being killed?
Oh man. The whole concept with that is that she's not part of the boys club. So her boyfriend and his new buddy basically are enthralled with the reanimated serum. She's just annoyed because it's like, hey, I'm here too. And what happens to her dad, like thinking that he had either a stroke or that he had Alzheimer's or something like that. And, she doesn't know what the hell's going on with all that weird stuff that's happening. It's
all very sudden for her too.
Yeah. She does. And something else that's interesting is, yes, she's surrounded by a mess of guys. There's her dad, there's the colleague of her father's, there's the boyfriend, there's Herbert West. But also they're all doctors. She's also the only one who's not a doctor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you wanted to say, well, it's not sexist, it's because she's not a doctor. I could see that too. I'm not saying they're being sexist, but I do think it's more based on like that. I think the boyfriend just knows, like, she is not going to be down with this. Like, he knows where she is, like, morally.
I did take note of that the last time that I watched this movie, because the first couple of times that I watched it, I think I just assumed she was a medical student because Dan was, but the last time I realized she's not. She's just the dean's daughter, and that's it.
How would the movie have been different if she was a medical student?
It'd be
They
different.
probably
It'd be better.
They would have had to grapple with whether or not she would be interested in Herbert's experiments too.
Mm-hmm.
If she's not a doctor, then they can just kind of pass it off as, oh, she's not scientifically minded, so she doesn't care. But if she was a medical student, then they'd have to actually deal with that.
Now, here's a question. Because her character in From Beyond is a doctor.
Yeah.
What would that girl do in this movie?
That girl probably would have been just...
Find out what the hell's going on.
I think she would have taken over.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I think Herbert West would be more annoyed that it's like, no, this was my experiment. I came up with this. Back off. And she'd be like, no, let's do more.
I want her character from Beyond to meet Herbert West now.
I do. God, I ship it. I ship it hard.
Me too.
I feel like, oh my God.
Crossover.
It's the perfect romantic comedy, because every romantic comedy starts with them kind of hating each other. Like somebody's annoyed by somebody because they did something, and there's usually a period where they don't like each other, but then they see a little bit of something they really like in the other person, and they're like, wait, maybe I hate this person so much because I kind of like them. And then they fall in love. And then they're reanimating things together. Oh my God, I ship it so hard.
I think Herbert West would do well with a good, strong dominatrix type woman.
What? If anyone has ever needed to be spanked, it's Herbert West.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I could see that.
I love that.
That's
some fan fiction right there.
We've done it. We've created the best outcome.
Somebody who...
Re-Animator sequel.
Oh my gosh. You know, my cousin's a screenwriter. I'm going to tell him to write this. I'm making it happen.
You're like, do this, and then put this in there.
He made a Texas Chainsaw movie. He can do a Re-Animator movie. Dude, needs to happen. All right, let's see. Re-Animator. Yeah, it's tragic what happens to her, and they do say that typically, and I think it's changed a lot, but typically horror falls into if you go into the Shakespearean, it falls into the tragedy, and this is a tragedy. It's sad. I guess you could say it's she could be the heart of it, because when she dies, you're supposed to care, even though a lot of people have died. But I think we care because Dan cares.
Yeah.
Her character. How do you guys feel about her character?
There were times when I wish that her character could have been a bit stronger. Like when they're trapped in the morgue at the end and the zombies are circling around them, she doesn't really do much to fight back, and it would have been nice to see her do more in scenes like that.
Mm-hmm. I definitely want to see that.
Yeah, I feel like, there's a whole nature versus nurture. I do feel like she has a strong backbone, but I don't think she's ever been trusted enough to take care of herself.
That's very true. She's very infantilized through a lot of the movie.
She's been very sheltered.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate. I mean, but she doesn't have what it takes to survive this film, which is unfortunate. I don't dislike her character. I think, she's cool, but
yeah,
I don't think they gave her enough to really work with her.
Yeah,
I'd agree. Yeah.
Pigeonholed her, I felt.
And interestingly enough, when the movie was being cast, Barbara Crampton did not originally have the part. Originally, a different actress had the part, and then the actress's mother found out about it and read the script, and she's like, yeah, over my dead body, are you getting naked? And Barbara Crampton, this character obviously has to get naked a lot. And then she was like, can we not have that? And they're like, no, it's kind of important to the movie. And so that girl had to back out. And Barbara Crampton shines up, and they're like, can you get naked? And she's like, fuck yeah. So she got the part. Now, a lot of people have issue with a lot of the 80s movies where women are made to get naked. Now, one thing I will say, I don't have a problem with women being naked in movies. I think women look great naked.
It's a natural thing.
It's the human body. I love boobs. My only complaint is I like equal opportunity nudity, and I like that Re-Animator gave us that. There's a lot of dong droppage. And so there's a lot of butts of both sexes. I am very pleased with the nudity in this movie. Do you feel like Barbara Crampton was objectified by her nude scenes?
I feel like she's not proud of them somewhat, because there are literally that whole scene where she is on that table, like spread eagle. Whoa.
Yeah, you see everything.
Yes.
Everything.
And she's probably
She's very
not
comfortable
happy
being
about
naked.
that, but like I said, it was something she did. Just look back at it and go, yeah, I did that, but whatever.
And as Jay said, she has great laying down boobs. My boobs, like
Yeah.
they just disappear when I lay down, but Barbara Crampton's are still there. Damn, girl. Girl. Those are some great boobs.
Mine suffocate me almost because of.
And it looked like
I don't even have boobs, so.
yeah, mine just like suck back into my body when I lay down. And even like right now, they're not doing a whole lot. But we get along great. They're perky, happy boobs. That's all that matters. Boobs of all sizes are great. I digress. Yes. I don't feel like she is objectified because I feel like it is essential to the character. Like, I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, her character is objectified, obviously, because she's kidnapped by a person who's being very, very gross towards her. Obviously, that is not how you woo a lady. But
yeah, no.
That's not how you do it, guys. But he is a headless guy, so what do I know about his situation? It's probably harder to pick up women, though he picked her up just fine. So again, I'm gonna have to say he objectified her. That was a no-no. Mm-hmm. That was a no-no. But for the character, I guess what I'm saying is, do you think if you were making this movie and the actress was saying, can we get rid of the nudity, do you think it could be done? Because I don't think you can. I think it's kind of essential to what happens in the film.
Yeah, I'd probably agree that it's essential. That whole, you can really tell that scene where she's kidnapped and she is stripped naked was intentionally trying to push buttons from the audience, try to provoke a reaction, and it wouldn't have been the same without the nudity.
Yeah. I think we just understand that a person being splayed out like that is just more vulnerable. Like, I'm afraid of spiders, but a spider dropping in on me now, I'm going to be scared. A spider dropping down on me, like, in the shower, gee, no. For some reason, it's so much worse if I'm naked. It's
just jumping out.
And it scares me. And I think we understand.
It's a vulnerability thing.
They didn't have to. They were able to make us understand how vulnerable she is and how victimized she is without her being physically assaulted, without her being raped, without any of the things we typically see in movies that are where they use some kind of violence to make us understand that this person's being victimized. We completely understand just by her being naked. So I would say it's essential.
Yeah.
And I think she did a great job. I couldn't have done it, but props to Barbara Crampton. She is very comfortable being naked. And she looks great naked, so she should be comfortable.
Yeah, she's got a really nice body.
Yep.
She does.
Thanks for pointing that out, Jay. Though we already knew, but
nice laying
he's
down.
Not even here watching. He's not even here watching the stream.
He needs to be here. Oh my god. He commented on my Instagram, and he's like, "Well, that was meant for Gory," and I'm like, "It's okay."
Because he knows I'm a pervert.
We're all perverts here, man.
Oh boy. And I wanted him to do a top 10 penectomies with me. Penectomies being what I call when a guy's dong gets cut off in a movie. Which, by the way, my number 1 is Beyond Re-Animator, where the dismembered dong fights a reanimated rat. That's pure gold. Pure gold. The whole movie sucks, but it's worth it for that.
I don't think I'll watch it. I don't know.
You don't have to watch it.
You can watch that part on YouTube.
Watch Bride of Re-Animator if you want to see a Re-Animator sequel.
And then you can watch Sierra's review. What? It all wraps up around.
Yep, I've reviewed all of the Re-Animator movies. Totally check them out.
So, what else do we have to say about Re-Animator? Am I talking too much? Do you guys have something to say?
No, you're good.
I don't know. Like, how would you rate it in our whole order right now?
Okay, so
this
I think
is my favorite.
There are 2 lists here. If we're gonna rank them, obviously for me this is a must own. I have the Arrow edition. Fucking love this movie. By the way, if you go on eBay, you can find the Arrow edition a lot cheaper because there are people in the UK who don't realize that it's region free, and then you get it cheaper. Same thing with Frankenhooker. There's a little tip for you.
Just price gouging left and right.
Yeah, on eBay, you're going to get a lot cheaper than Amazon.
All right.
I think I got From Beyond when it was on sale on Amazon, though, so props to Amazon for that. And Castle Freak Danny got from Full Moon. I'm giving you guys a whole bunch of information you did not need or want. Anyhow, there are two rankings here. One is the ranking of the movies themselves, and the other one is the ranking of Barbara Crampton's character in them.
Okay.
Now, as far as her roles in these movies, like, if I was to say, like, ranking them by how much I love Barbara Crampton in them, definitely From Beyond is number one with a bullet.
Yeah.
Then I would say probably Castle Freak, and then Re-Animator.
The second one, yeah, and then Re-Animator, because that's just how strong of a character she has in each movie. I feel like you hit it on the head.
Yeah.
Just how much I enjoy her characters, you know? So for me, that's my ranking. What do you guys think about how you feel about her characters in these films? Like, what was your ranking?
I think I'd agree with your ranking.
I'm gonna be the same. Yeah, I'm gonna be the same with it, because Re-Animator, she's just a girlfriend, and it's not really far what goes into that detail, and then she has all this terrible shit happening to her. And then you have Castle Freak, where she's like the fucking overprotective mother. And then, From Beyond, here's a doctor. Here is somebody who's trying to find out what the hell is happening. And
she's amazing in From Beyond. I love her there.
She's trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Like I said, that's her favorite
role.
Yes. And so, like, I like that. I did like From Beyond very much. I thought it was fucking crazy. But it, I liked it a lot better than most of the other movies.
The other thing, too, is that we've been talking a lot about our favorite Barbara Crampton scenes in these movies. And in this movie, I mean, I guess my favorite scene with her in is, I love the ending scene. I just think this movie ends just beautifully. But as far as her performance, she has a couple parts that I think are kind of funny. Like when she's asking about the cat, I think that's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Kitty.
When she's watching her dad, that's pretty good. And there's one scene, like it's after the kind of alluded to sex scene with Bruce Abbott, where she's kind of arguing with him. Those are pretty good, but it's not like the other movies where I have ones I definitely are going to say, yes, this is the Barbara Crampton scene. If I was going to make a highlight reel Barbara Crampton, based on her whole career, obviously I would have From Beyond on there. I might add Castle Freak just to add some diversity, because it's a very different role for her, but I don't think I'd add Re-Animator.
Yeah, Re-Animator is not one where she's the star. Jeffrey Combs is the star of Re-Animator. He
just overshadows everything in this movie. And, someone was saying Bruce Abbott gets no love. Honestly, she even said after Re-Animator, because Re-Animator, at the time Re-Animator came out, she was not a star yet. She was an unknown. And they thought that the movie would do good, but it did way better than they expected. And then she thought that was going to really help her career, but it really didn't so much. It did launch Jeffrey Combs' career, but it helped her get a couple roles, but it really, she said she didn't notice a huge difference afterwards, which she was really surprised by. So, and I think it's just mostly because, he is, when you finish Re-Animator, he's the character you remember.
Yeah. Him and David Gale. I think David Gale would be the second one.
Yes, absolutely. David Gale being the colleague of her father's who kidnaps her, and he's just so great as just a zombified head. Just because they're these over-the-top characters, and it's not anything against Barbara Crampton's performance or even Bruce Abbott's performance. They're doing a great job because they can't be over the top. If they were over the top, it would, you would lose the contrast, because you need them for the contrast.
Yeah.
Because Herbert West is so unusual, and David Gale's character is, he is like the twirling the mustache kind of villain. He is that over the top of a villain. You need people to be the straight man, and unfortunately, the straight man gets overlooked. They did a fantastic job with what they had. They did a fantastic job playing those characters, but they're not the characters you're going to remember. Nothing against the actors. So, that is my ranking of that. But let's talk about our rankings of the movies.
Okay. Like, best to so-so.
I don't think any of these are bad movies, in my opinion, but they're not all for everybody.
Yeah. I think Re-Animator would be my favorite movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then From Beyond, and then last Castle Freak.
Yeah.
What about you, Cujo?
I think Re-Animator and definitely, oh god, From Beyond as well, and then Castle Freak. It like Castle Freak isn't that strong of a. I like it a lot, you know. I'm diehard Re-Animator fan. That's just the most like that's my favorite horror movie of all time. So I have to have Love right there for it.
Yeah.
If you guys follow me on Letterboxd, I'm on there. You can look up Horror Addicts or Gory B Movie.
I'm on there too.
Yes, we follow each other. I very rarely, I give a lot of 3 stars. I give a lot of 3.5s. I very rarely rate something poorly. And I very rarely say something's perfect. To me, 5 stars is perfection. And I would give Re-Animator 5 stars. There's not a scene in that movie I would change. We're talking a lot about how, you know, Barbara Crampton's character isn't given a lot. I do feel like because we have so many unusual characters, we kind of need that. It would be interesting if she was a medical student. I like what Ciara said about that. And I do like our From Beyond crossover. But I think it's a perfect film. I love it just the way it is. This is by far my favorite on the list. From Beyond, though, to me is a must-own. That would be my second. And Castle Freak, I think it's worth owning. I don't think it's one you have to own, but I do think it's very good. And it's definitely one you need to see, even if it's not one that you have in your collection. I do think it's one you absolutely need to see. Like I said, if you have Shudder, watch Joe Bob Briggs' Last Drive-In, just because everything's better with Joe Bob Briggs. Even when he reviews a terrible movie, he did Street Trash. And I don't like Street Trash. I know a lot of you do. I don't like Street Trash. But I enjoyed it a lot more watching it with Joe Bob Briggs. So he also did Re-Animator. He loves Re-Animator. He loves Castle Freak. But I think they're both great movies. And I think with a lot of, you know, with horror movies, I feel like I said before, you can't take like a movie like, you know, Ginger Dead Men and compare it to Hereditary. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, no.
But as far as where these movies fall, Re-Animator is, hey, Jay's here. We were just talking about you. Best laying down boobs.
Yes.
Re-Animator is one that
Best laying down boobies.
might be a little too gory and maybe too much nudity for a lot of horror fans, but I think as far as your diehards, this is going to be, I think it's the top of a lot of people's list. It's a very good movie.
It is, yeah.
And great laying down boobs.
Right.
We talked a lot about that earlier, Jay.
Yeah.
Where were you then?
You missed it. We were talking about...
We talked extensively about laying down boobs. And then From Beyond, we talked about forehead penis. Where you been, man? Killing me here. Killing me. You should be sorry, Jay. God. I mean, everyone says I'm the dongstress. Like, I know a lot about dongs, but I would say...
The dongstress.
I would say, you know, Jay is like Captain Boobs, and I needed him here. We were talking about boobs.
Boobs and dong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god,
I actually draw. I draw horror icons as penises on Instagram.
Like super bad.
No, they're adorable. It's on Gory Draws Dongs on Instagram. Check it out.
Okay, I'm following this right now.
Alright, wait a minute. Hold on, you got my attention.
One of my friends told me he's going to get my Beetlejuice dong as a tattoo. I was like, all right, dude. I'll believe it when I see it.
I already love this.
Gross.
It's great. They're really cute. They're cute.
Why did... Oh my... No. No. Oh my god.
She's looking at my dick pics, guys. Right now.
Oh my god. Oh my god, you got a Chucky one.
Oh man.
Wait, what? Pennywise. Come on.
I had a lot of Pennywise requests.
I do like the Beetlejuice one.
Yeah, she was incredible in Sunchoke, Jay.
Oh
my. If you guys want to see Barbara Crampton as a villain, you do need to check out Sunchoke. She is so just intimidating and intense in that movie. How you guys liking the dongs?
Oh my god.
I love it. This is great.
I'm sending my husband the one that's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man because he's a Ghostbusters
Do you
fanatic.
like how there's hair in the balls?
That is amazing.
Marshmallow hair
Dice, I completely concur. That is fully acceptable to me. You may be the Squire of Genitals. Or sounding.
God. All right, well. I'll
Oh my
follow
God,
that.
Pinhead.
Spawn, it's Gory Draws Dongs. So
Oh
if you
my
haven't
God.
already, it's a thing.
I love the Pinhead.
Yes,
Oh,
the
thank you.
pinhead.
We have such dongs to show you. Oh, I'm glad you guys like my dick pics.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this existed. Oh my
Me
God.
either.
All right. Woo. Okay.
Though.
So happy. You like them?
I love them.
I love it. I love.
I'm so pleased.
Oh Jesus. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay. I gotta pull my head out of my ass for a minute there.
Are you okay, Cujo?
That just made my week. That made me so happy.
Oh, thank you.
I'm
I'm
like,
doing a xenomorph one now. It's got an extra dong.
What?
inside its mouth.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's
I
2
love
dongs.
this.
No waiting. Right.
I check that out. I will check that out.
My friend Steve McGinnis, he draws comics, and he did a whole bunch of Pennywises. So I did a whole bunch of Pennywises, and we're like, oh my God, we should do like a clown show. Like, you know, we'll do like Sid Hay, Captain Spaulding. We'll do Terrifier, but mine will all be dongs, and his will all be like actual art.
Art the clown dong.
Oh,
Please
dude.
do Art the Clown Dong.
Okay, it'll happen. It'll happen.
And one of these days, you need to take your dongs and have them signed by the actual person.
If you would like a dong, I would happily send you one. I've sent many a dong to people.
No.
I
I
mail
don't.
it to you with a signature on it. I sent
To
one to
go and
Dr.
get it
Wolfula.
signed. Wolfula.
I sent one to Wolfula, and I sent one to a friend who wanted one sent to his wife at work. I didn't ask questions. Whatever, you know. He says they have it on their wall. Yes, Dice, it does have a mini dong in it. The
What?
dong of Jeffrey Combs' pineal gland with a dong with a dong. Oh my God, that's a great idea.
A real dickhead.
That's a great idea. That's like dongception is. Oh my God, Michael
I
Long.
love it.
How do you
Dong
always blow my
within
mind?
dong.
How do you do it?
That's Michael. Michael's crazy.
It's crazy. Well, do you feel like? Well, you know, one thing we haven't talked about, we didn't mention because we did talk about the real Lovecraft stories.
Mm-hmm.
The Re-Animator story. How do you think it compares to the movie? Like, is it a lot different? Is it the same? What do you like about it? What do you don't like?
The movie better.
Mm-hmm.
I like Herbert West better in the movie.
Yeah, I agree. I just feel like the movie is this like perfect cheesy, not quite B movie, but kind of B movie. And then the story is just kind of like a Frankenstein-esque short story.
Yeah.
The story doesn't feel as original as I feel like the movie feels
Yeah.
like it is. The movie feels so different from.
Yeah.
I mean, at the basis, it really is kind of a Frankenstein's monster thing, and that's why it did go out of print for a while, because at the time it was published, it was not well received because it was very like people had kind of read that before. But
Yeah.
you can find it now.
Yeah.
But you know, I think people just wanted lots of tentacles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 'cause who doesn't like tentacles, guys? Tentacles are great.
A lot of Cthulhu tentacles. I don't know.
Do you feel like the movie is a good adaptation of the story, though?
Okay, with the whole thing of trying to describe everything in the concept of it and what they've taken it as a new modern kind of way, I don't know.
It does change a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like the story needed to be changed in order to make it like fresh and interesting.
So, movie is better. With the other ones, I mean, we can't do From Beyond because we haven't read that one. But with Castle Freak, I'd also have to say I like the movie better. Though the short story, it's short, to the point, and it's got a good punch. But I do love the movie slightly more. But for what the short story is, it's good.
They're very different, I think. The aim of the short story is very different from the aim of the movie. So I feel it's difficult to compare.
Are there other Barbara Crampton Lovecraft movies? I feel you mentioned the short film. I feel like somebody told me that there was another one, but I don't know of it.
All I know is
Stuart Gordon
that one.
Lovecraft movies. Probably are.
Oh.
I just got recently. I just got on DVD the Necronomicon. I haven't seen that one yet. That's a Lovecraft movie. It's not Stuart Gordon, but I just got it.
But it's
Is
part of
Dagon
like
Stuart Gordon? Dagon.
Dagon.
I don't know if it is Stuart Gordon. I haven't seen that one either. Is it good?
I haven't actually like sat down and seen it, but I've heard that it's just kind of okay.
What are your favorite Lovecraft movies that you have seen?
Re-Animator is my all-time favorite Lovecraft movie.
Yeah, I love Re-Animator. Outside of the movies we're talking about today, I did love Spring. Have you guys seen that?
No, I have not.
Oh yeah, I've
Spring,
seen that one.
I believe it came out in 2015. That was a really good movie. I feel like as far as modern Lovecraft movies, Aaron Moorhead and something Benson, Adam Benson, I don't remember. They are doing great Lovecraft films. They did a movie recently called The Endless, which ties into a previous film they did called Resolution. But I love Spring. Spring is a guy, his mother has passed away, so he goes out to Italy and he meets a girl, and she's keeping a lot of secrets, and you're like, what's going on? And it seems like she's a different... She seems like she's some kind of a monster, but I don't want to tell you too much about it without like giving it away. But you get tentacles, you get all kinds of Lovecraft stuff. It's like a Lovecraftian romance. It's so good.
And now, do you have to buy the movie, or is it streaming anywhere, Gory?
You might be able to find it. Go to Just Watch. Do you know where Just Watch is?
Yes. No. I figured when you recommended that website last, I think GTO, I definitely looked it up and went for that.
It might be on Netflix. It might be on Shudder. Might be. So what I'm hearing in the chat is Dagon is a Stuart Gordon film. So I'll have to check out that one. I have not seen that one. I do like In the Mouth of Madness. That is a really good one. And in the chat too, let me know what your favorite Lovecraft movies are, because that's something that I would like to get more involved in, or even what your favorite Lovecraft stories are. Recently there was a brand new Call of Cthulhu movie that came out within the last 10 years.
Oh, nice. That would be interesting.
That one was okay.
I want to see it.
I can't think of too many. I did watch. They're not that great, but my son and I kind of loved it. The Howard Lovecraft movies. The sequel wasn't that good. There's three of them, but the first one, we love the quote. He has this kid Howard Lovecraft, who's H.P. Lovecraft.
Jeffrey Combs' voice is in that.
Yes, and he says, "Friends don't eat friends." Well, sometimes.
Because isn't it? It's like one where it's like they're underneath water, or they're or they're in like a snow fortress.
There's
or
three of them, and those are pretty good. I also liked H.P. Lovecraft made an appearance on Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. That was good. I loved H.P. Lovecraft. Not H.P. Lovecraft. Herbert West's appearance in Hack Slash.
Yeah, that was great.
A lot of crossovers. And the Army of Darkness one was good too. But are there any Lovecraft stories or movies that you guys really love that, I haven't read or I haven't seen? Because, I would absolutely love to see and read more.
I'm sorry, Evil Clergyman. It's like you get to see like shirtless Jeffrey Combs.
Yes, please.
You sold me.
Done. I'll buy it. Take my money.
Shirtless. Like, you get to see him all, like, Mr. Sex Machine, and Barbara's in it.
Yes.
And, I don't know if she gets fully naked in this one, but, like I said, she's a nice...
I've seen her naked before. I don't think I've seen Jeffrey
me
Combs
too.
naked.
Well, he's not completely. He's just, like, he just rips his shirt off, and there you go. It's like, yeah.
Sold.
Yes.
Sold.
I'm on board for this.
They need to just put that in the back of the box. Jeffrey Combs gets on his shirt.
Yes, shirtless.
Take
Jeffrey
my
Combs.
money.
Think about that later.
I will. So I got into the stream really quick.
Uh-oh.
No, it's good. I can wait. But Sarah, I feel like you're pretty well versed in Lovecraft as far as like the stories and stuff. Are there any that you really love that we haven't talked about?
I don't think so. Nothing in particular is coming to mind. At the Mountains of Madness, you already mentioned. That one's pretty great.
That's
That
a John
one's good.
Carpenter film, but it is Lovecraft, and I do love that one.
Yeah.
It stars Sam Neill in it, and God, Sam Neill, he does so great with like psychological horror, like when he's going crazy. I know we all know him from Jurassic Park, but that and the movie Possession are really good films.
I can't remember. Have you seen any other movies besides like those other ones? Because I swear,
Sam Neill is in Omen 3.
Yes, yes. I was like,
I
haven't
love
been able.
the Omen films.
Hold on. Where the hell is it?
Michael Long mentioned a movie called Call Girl of Cthulhu. That one I'm actually planning on reviewing on my new spin-off channel eventually because, God, I think Zachary Haith wants a review of that, and that was actually really fun. If you're really into Lovecraft, I mean, I didn't get all the references, but from what I do know, there are tons of Easter eggs and references in that movie. So if you're a big Lovecraft fan, that's absolutely one. There was the Xbox game Call of Cthulhu last year that I know a lot of people played and enjoyed. I didn't play that one, but I hear it's great.
Oh,
What? Where'd she go?
Welcome back.
Dropping crap. Sorry about that. I'm back. I'm trying to look for that VHS and I couldn't find it, but he is on the cover of that VHS.
Yes, Jay, it's this channel. But it's as I mentioned to Ciara earlier, it's weird to say the Gory B Movie channel. It sounds like a children's show. It's weird. The channel you're currently watching, it's a spin-off of Horror Addicts. Like, Horror Addicts is Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and my channel is Angel. Okay? Okay? Are we all on board now? God. I wanted him here, and now he's just making me feel lame. No, Jay's great. I give him shit, but he's great. Well then, what are you working on your channel now? Because we're going to start wrapping it up. Before we wrap it up, is there anything about any of these 3 movies that you guys wanted to discuss before we wrap it up?
I think we've covered everything.
I think we did. We've been so freaking thorough. And like I mentioned, you did Bride of Re-Animator. Did you do any of the other Re-Animator movies?
I did Bride of Re-Animator, and I did Beyond Re-Animator.
Beyond Re-Animator. I gotta watch that. I gotta know what you thought of the whole fight between the rat and the dong at the end. I love it. Did you talk about it?
I did, yeah.
That's what I'm watching next, and then I'm watching that short film.
Sounds good.
So what are you guys working on your channels? Like, what can we expect on the Queen Cujo channel and the Ciara Hall channel?
At least more. And try to at least be with like more reviews. Try to go to the movies more. Try. Yeah, Halloween's coming up, so definitely gonna be working
6
on
months.
stuff. I know, but I can't wait. Every day is Halloween.
Every day's Halloween at our house.
Mhm.
Yep. Right now, I'm just wrapping up my Child's Play reviews. Still got a couple more movies to do for that.
I just saw the part 3 one. That was awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got Curse of Chucky is the next one that I'm doing.
Fantastic. Awesome. So absolutely check those out on my channel. Probably tomorrow, maybe today, if I'm really ambitious, the Happy Birthday to Me review that was supposed to be up last month on my birthday. That's taken me over a damn month because it's like 30 minutes long because it's in all the gory details. So all the damn trivia you can possibly stomach and everything else. It should be up. So happy birthday to me. It's coming. It's got a sketch. I went all out, guys. I went all out. It's like the most I've ever worked on a review. So hopefully
You went
guys
above and
enjoy it.
beyond.
I did. I went from beyond.
From beyond.
I don't think that made sense. I was trying to tie it in.
It works.
Thank you, everybody who stopped by to watch. Thank you, Jay, Michael Long, X-Spawn, Dice Rollin', everyone who came. Awesome having you in the chat. Jimmy P. Spring is on Shudder, Cujo.
Woot!
And if you don't have Shudder, you can get a 30-day free trial, like anybody can. So you just go there and you get it, and then you can go watch Spring, and it's fantastic. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. Their links, Queen Cujo channel and Ciara Hall, you can search it. It's in the card. It's in the description. Absolutely check them out. Give them a sub. You won't be disappointed. Awesome stuff coming your way. These are awesome ladies. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a blast hanging out with you.
Thank you. This has been fun.
Thank you for having me and getting to meet you guys.
And anything you want to say before we call it a night?
Thank you for all your people.
You guys can plug your channel or you can say goodbye. Hey, Ben. Hey, Brian. Anything you want to say?
Hit us up on Insta, Queen Cujo. I'm also on Twitter, and I have a channel. That's it.
Check out my channel, Ciara Hall, and check out my Instagram, the Ciara Hall.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. They both have great stuff going on Instagram. So check it out. Thank you guys again so much. This has been fun. There's a podcast. Who has a podcast?
The podcast. Oh, no, wait, Brian. Okay, no, the Outsiders podcast.
I was like, I don't have a podcast.
No, the Outsiders, Brian, and then there's my friend Andrew Faye, and there's another Brian.
I know Andrew. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, they have, and then Christy from Nightmare Toys, they're all in this podcast. I got to be on their podcast the night before, so yes, thank you for reminding me. I'm sorry, Brian.
Well, we got it right before we ended, so that's great. Check out the Outsiders podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much. This has been so much fun. Thank you, chat. And next month, there will not be a Ghouls Night Out because it's the Creepy Channel Crawl. The Creepy Channel Crawl, 28, not 24, 28 hours of horror live streams across a lot of channels. So next month, it's going to be July 13th and 14th. We have a lot of channels signed up. We've got a lot of guests. We're going to start promoting all that stuff and have this schedule up on Horror Addicts, on their Facebook page and Twitter, and on the website, horroraddictstv.com. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing next month because I think I got the 6 a.m. slot for my personal channel. And we're going to talk about the horror of sleep because I'm pretty sure since I'm staying up for the whole thing, I'm going to be really tired. And anybody who's awake is welcome to join that. I'm just going to put the chat link out there. So it should be good. I'll be really tired. But it'll be fun. And then, of course, I'll be opening the show on Horror Addicts with Danny and closing it out with our after party when the crawl's over. It's going to be fantastic. We've got so many channels. Dice Rollin' will be there. Queenie Todd. Mr. Creepypasta. Cujo, you're on there, aren't you? Somewhere?
I don't, like, I'm scared to think about what it would be. So I don't know if I want to do it. I want to see what it's like first before.
That's completely fine, but there's a lot of channels. Screaming Soup will be on there. Dr. Wolfula. There's a lot of channels, so stay tuned. On my social media, it's Gory B Movie on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On Horror Addicts, you're going to find out a whole lot more about that. It's going to be a lot of fun, but that's what we're doing next month instead of Ghouls Night Out. And then the following month, we'll be back with Ghouls Night Out. I'm going to have Queenie Todd on. And Emily's Adventures in Horrorland, we're going to talk about the Women of Hellraiser. And then the month after that, Good Morning Nancy's coming back. So, yes, there are more Ghouls Night Out, just not next month. Anyway, Thank you guys so much. You have a great night. Have a great weekend. And blessed be.